Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to your April reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whatever area of your chart you're wanting to have a look at. If you're not familiar with your chart, there is a link in the description down below as ever to go through and get yourself a birth chart. It's always good to know what your rising sign is. So I would say when you're listening to horoscopes or when you're watching these readings, always watch your rising sign, or at least always watch your rising sign as well. So, being a general reading rules apply, because I can't possibly be reading for every single Libra on the planet. So, there's a past and a present on the reading. If the past and the present do not fit, don't try and make it fit. It's not for you. Go and watch your rising, go and watch your moon sign. Timing is far from absolute with tarot. Yeah, there's not much more to be said about that. Timing is not absolute, full stop. And if someone else appears in the reading, sometimes your actions and their actions can get mixed up because I see the actions and not necessarily the people who are doing it. It doesn't happen very often, but I think it can happen. I've seen some readings where I've gone, oh yeah, could be you, could be them, could be somebody else, could be a third, fourth, fifth party coming involved. So yeah, now other housekeeping, there is a link down below for the Facebook page for this channel. So I post these videos because yeah, YouTube notifications, don't like them anymore. I've ranted about that previously. But there's also an inbox. So if you want to contact me for a personal reading, what I was going to say is I also post the astrology videos that I watch and I'm learning from. Certainly like the weather report ones, the mundane astrology ones. But yeah, there is an inbox. If you want a personal reading from me, that's one of the best ways to get in touch. You can also use that to get in touch with David Fisher, because I've just done a show with David, uploaded it yesterday as of filming today, and we've gone looking at the astrology of Darkside from Darkside's first appearance, and who is now famous because of Justice League. Zack Snyder's cut come out, but oh my god, there's just oh my god, you'd have to you'll have to see the show to figure out why I'm saying that. The chart is I don't know how this stuff works. So, and here's me doing this, and I don't know how that stuff works. So, with no further ado, one thing I will say is ask a question before you watch the reading. So, pause the video if you need to, think about all of the questions that are around you, and focus on one of them, but be aware of all of them, because cards will answer what they please. But that gives energy to the process, hopefully, that I will be returning to you, and if I don't, somebody will. Right, now, let's bring your cards up. So, first glance at your cards. The first thing that I really see is the bottom of the decks. So the bottom of the main deck, we have the Sun card, the Happy Happy Joy Joy card. So it's like, oh, that's good. And then the next card comes up with the Seven of Wands, the next deck, sorry. And then that was finished off with the Page of Coins, Page of Pentacles, as you know, my level 1 complete start level 2 card. This, just from these first two cards, I was already thinking, there's a coming of age story here. Something is maturing, something is going on to the next level. And that Page of Coins, all that did was confirm it. Now let's look at the actual cards themselves. Right now, you are going through some form of transformation, some form of elevating to a higher level, or shedding some negativity, or reinventing yourself, all those good sort of transformation, you know, whatever keywords you want to use. But what is really interesting is that this is something that you've committed towards. But as long as you make the choice to remain committed, keep these promises that you are making to yourself. So we also have the Oath card here from the Wisdom of the House of Night. The results will be twofold. We go from the Four of Wands of the time that you was going into to the Eight of Wands. Right now, things are only going to speed up. And then you get to rest, Four of Swords up here. So, yeah, you're in the middle of it. And yeah, it's making you feel really sort of, oh my God, what am I doing? But you're charging ahead nicely. Everything is going according to plan, even as you are nervous about it at the same time. Why shouldn't you be nervous about it? It's a big thing. That's one thing that I would say. It is a big thing that you're going through. You're allowed to be nervous about it, because this Eight of Swords here, now, as you know, it's supposed to represent anxiety, self-imposed limitations, stress, getting yourself all tied up. But I also like the Eight of Swords, because sometimes you hold yourself in a position for a reason. Sometimes you are looking at all those fears because you're wanting to see which ones you can get rid of, or which are no longer appropriate, or which ones you should actually listen to, get out of the way of a moving vehicle sort of fear. So I don't feel bad with this Eight of Swords at all. I don't get the normal sense that, she's hanging in a web. Sometimes I get the sense of she's getting sensory input from every strand of that web. Sometimes I feel like she is levitating those Eight Swords around her, both in this and other Eight Sword cards, in other decks even. And I don't get any of that this time. It's almost like you're curled up, poised, ready to spring. But I do think that you have to allow this transformation to unfold, whatever it is that's going on right now. Let's have a look. Let's get some clarification. So, this is interesting. This transformation is part of a healing process anyway. We've got Four of Swords at the bottom here with Four of Pentacles. This transformation is in an effort to... now I don't want to say protect yourself or defend yourself, that like you could get from the Four of Pentacles. It's more sort of, I don't want this to happen again. So I'm going to take whatever steps that I need to, take a little bit of time for myself to not allow this to happen again. And that is, right, underline this issue, this Lovers card, which I really like it, but at the same time, there's a sensation of people going through the motions, which I'm not quite sure how to balance. But right, are you going to continue going through the motions with whatever it is you're transforming with, or not? Because there is an enormous driving force right now to help push you forward in that transformation. So this is due to a recent... you've put an end to something recently. Maybe that's where that never again comes from, the Ten of Swords here. And you've actually made a choice to make a commitment to go, I am not having this happen again. Even though it does look like recently, despite some chaos around you and some intense debates around you, and some failed attempt at building something, whether that's new job, new social circle, new an outhouse, whatever it is you've been building, it got disrupted by the fact that trying to pull various people together in one direction is a bit like herding cats. However, this didn't really bother you. Nine of Coins, Ten of Coins. Well, Ten of Pentacles. Oh, no coins in this deck. That, whatever it was that collapsed there, was incidental to you. Yeah, you were trying to build it, and if it didn't work, it didn't work. Oh well, gave it a go. Because you were quite secure in your own space, in fact very secure in your own space. But with this Two of Swords here, I feel like there was something that you were deliberately not paying attention to. Now, Two of Swords, it's a bit like the Eight of Swords for me. It can get very cosmic for me, or it can be that basic blind to something. But here I'm getting a distinct feeling of, well, with Ace of Cups, Ace of Swords and King of Cups beneath it. I'm getting this distinct feeling of weighing something up while attempting to remove extraneous distraction, and that also that deliberately ignoring something is a sense of, yeah, I'm not paying attention to you right now because I've got this going on, but also I'm not paying attention to that because I refuse to pay attention to that. It is not worth my notice. So I'm not saying that whatever it was you was deliberately ignoring, that you were defeating yourself or harming yourself at all. I think for once you were taking justifiably that position of la 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 la, I'm not listening, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that was actually quite a healthy move, and whatever it was that you stopped paying attention to has freed you up to make this commitment that you are making at the moment. Because let's have a look what we've got in the past. Oh, a devil card. This is not your first rebirth, but Page of Coins also implies this. Because, like I say, level 1 complete, start level 2. This is more like Goku upgrading his fighting level, or his aura from one color to another, or he turns into Super Saiyan or whatever it is, or Pac-Man eating the power pills back on the old Pac-Man cartoon. You've had a rebirth before. You had so many options of how you was wanting to, or where you could have gone. And it's almost like somebody, I get it. This came after quite a confusing time in your life, but it's almost like somebody who you shouldn't have listened to, and you shouldn't have listened to them, gave you a piece of really good advice. So it's a comedic thing to you now that someone who you would not listen to on another word that they've said, but they said this one thing that made you go, okay, yeah, I know how I can surge forward and manifest out of all this confusion that I'm in. I can use this confusion that I am in. There's plenty of options of how to forge ahead to do it. I'm going to have to change myself slightly to fit whatever options that I choose. I'm keeping my ears open for guidance, and you gain the discernment. Ooh, this is nice. High Priestess, Six of Wands, the Emperor. So you gain the discernment of, yes, you tried or investigated the various options ahead of you, and you managed to settle on one that felt right, and you were pretty much following your gut. You were victorious at this. It started quite the sphere of influence for you. Now, when I say sphere of influence, I'm saying not necessarily people. I'm saying that there is an area of your life that you got good control over, that you were able to steer in the direction that you wanted it to go. I'm just trying to clarify this devil card here. And that's why when whatever it was that you were trying to build, when it collapsed due to other people being useless, that didn't really bother you. Although I think it has caused you to re-examine your path forward from that point. Yes, because this devil card here, I've clarified it. The card that has come out is got up as the star, as in that dropping of wisdom. So I don't know whether that means that I was on the right track or my mind is influencing what card comes out of the deck, or even if there's actually a difference between those two things. So we're at this. You've got to you've made this commitment, but you have to say, am I doing this commitment or am I going through the motions? That's what I could call the reading, I suppose. Now, everything that you do will have, as you remain committed to whichever path you commit to, it will have double the effect of what whatever work you put in, you get double back. So if you put a certain amount of slacking and going through the motions in, you're going to get double slacking and going through the motions back. But if you are putting the following your intuition and all the hippie woo woo good things, then you will get that double back as well. Excuse me. And what I really like here is that we've got 8 of Wands, so it shows that it all starts moving quite quickly, but you are getting a chance to rest because this is a healing process for you. 4 of Swords underneath this card and 4 of Swords on the top of this pile. 4 of Pentacles here, but that's I'm seeing that whole, well, actually I'm seeing the whole build a foundation of something. So I'm not seeing the protect everything, but I'm seeing build a foundation from something separate from where you were before, or from where all the people are, or literally like you live in a city and then you go and live in the hills above the city, because you're just removing yourself that short distance to be defining your own space. And that, however you move into that own space, that is going to happen quite quickly, I feel. And it's not without time either, because we have 4 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 6 of Cups. Interesting progression in numbers, 4, 5, 6. There's a lot here about increasing, because not just the 4 to the 8, but I could also see 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's that sense of increasing. But with the 2 and the 6 being on this hidden row, this underneath row, it's almost like you don't see half the benefit of what you have just done until later, when you get the next benefit along and you suddenly realize that you've achieved the intervening one as well. So this 4 of Swords, I'm feeling quite restful with it. It's not, there's a certain amount of taking this commitment that you have had and putting it more into the realm of air. So whatever emotional commitment that you had, through this transformation, gives you the intellectual knowledge of how to carry out that emotional commitment that you've already made. And wasn't there where was that King of Cups? Actually, I think he was in here, wasn't he? I've lost him. I don't know where he was. But there is that sense of the shifting of focus from the I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I really want to do this, and I know that this is the right direction for me, I'm going to do this, to now you know how you are going to do this, whatever the this is. But it's different again to whatever it was that you built and came crashing down. But having said that, that whatever it was you built with some other people, and because of other people it was useless and it crashed down, was a useful experience for you. I feel like there was some skills that was gained and you didn't actually lose anything by it crumbling down. So this is setting you up on a very firm footing, but you have to make the choice and plan to how you're going to reveal this to whoever it needs revealing to. So if it's a work project, revealing to colleagues. If it's a product or a political campaign, revealing to the media, to social media, to, again, probably to the family, because, hey-ho, they need to know these things. But I really like this Seven of Wands, as in, there's an element of coming to meet your peers, but not being intimidated by them. Like sometimes you can be a bit intimidated by the Seven of Wands, but not being intimidated by them, but just simply turning up. Hi, here I am, reporting for duty. And saying it with such an authority that even though other people, the peers that you've turned up to are surprised to see you there, and since when were you a peer, you say it with such authority, or are able to say it with such authority, that they just go, ah, okay, right. And then there isn't that much of a testing phase. As if they're not going to try and measure your skills, your presence, your ability. They're just going to say, that needs doing, get on with it, because we're doing this, and then at the end we'll all bring it all together, blah, 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 blah. You know, there's, and I don't mean that as in a, come on, go and do your work. I mean that as a, that you are being trusted to go and get on with that thing that needs doing. So Knight of Cups, the Emperor, Seven of Cups again. So I almost feel like whatever this process is, and that you are going with your new fine-heeled self to go and create, it's something that you personally, okay, it's that you personally fall in love with doing this, but this is a temporary thing, because I also got the distinct impression that you're also quite happy to hand it on afterwards, whatever that means. But again, there's another Emperor card, so you are forging your own reputation, sphere of influence, sphere of responsibility, in this whole area that you have fallen in love with, even though it's a temporary fall in love. It's like, tonight we're going to have the best night of our lives. Who knows what happens tomorrow morning, but tonight we will sing, we will dance, we will eat, you know, and let tomorrow morning look after itself. And I'm not saying that you're leaving the clearing up for somebody else to do, because that's not what it feels like. But you have so many options leading forward from that once you have established yourself. So this transformation, it's a personal transformation that's happening here from a commitment that you've made already, if you choose not to go through the motions, or not just go through the motions, I should say. But it takes you to a new platform where that platform in and of itself serves as a springboard to launch you into all sorts of new things in your life. And see how other people, because other people are other people are trusting in you. They're seeing that there is some form of chance, or they're providing some form of wish fulfillment for you, even. That's another way of interpreting that. But they're seeing how driven that you are. So if you are that driven, crack on ahead with this. If you only want to go through the motions, don't bother even starting, because this, whatever this new path is and this transformation, it's a bit of well, I've got to Powell's heart and soul going on in the back of my mind here. So there's there is that element of you've got to throw yourself into it completely, which you've already considered, and you've already considered that you want to do. There's an emotional force within you that you want to do this, but this Four of Swords indicates that there may have been a sensation that you wanted to do it and you don't know how, and that not knowing how has restricted you, rather than diving in, learning on the way, and then realizing, this is how I do it. This is how I go forward. Okay, so these two piles are a potential future. Oh, how interesting. You have to make a commitment to your own happiness and this is a really weird meaning from getting from the star card, but don't reach too far. You know, there's an awareness of we've got the star here with the Ten of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. And so the first thing that I thought of with the star is the distance between us and whatever star you care to mention. And with all this talk about building, you've got the firm foundation, but it's no good having the firm foundation here if you're putting a short crane on it, but the arm's going all the way over here. You know, it's going to topple. So there's a don't reach too far. Reach, yes, but not too far. And that brings an end to something. It takes you slowly onto a new place. You can see others or circumstance or what have you running ahead of you, leading you in a certain direction, and that's fine, but you don't have to go the same pace as whatever is leading you down there does. You can see where they're going. You can walk there slowly at your own pace, because that's really, really important that you are, as whatever various hang-ups or limitations may be appearing before you, you can turn around and go, yeah, I don't want to, let me just deal with that, and then I'll be along in a moment. So it may be a balancing act. It may be a balancing act to not reach that far, a balancing act to slow yourself somewhat, but that's because you are having a commitment to your own happiness here, because we have Ten of Cups with the other two Four of Wands from both decks. So there really is a commitment of, yeah, let's have the better than wish fulfillment. Thank you very much. I really like this because there's this real sense, as I say, from personal transformation, watched over by angels and all the lovely hippie woo woo bits that you like with the Judgment card. Also this propagation of light, Hierophel. It's taking you into new unknown territories with the Otherworld card from the Mists of Avalon. And I'm going to have to look that one up because I'm sure it's got another meaning that completely is escaping my my attention. But there's what is it, number 10? Open straight to it as well. So you are being offered the opportunities to stretch, expand, and make significant changes in your life. Be patient. Seriously, this is what it says. Be patient. Do not rush the process. To be birthed, one must wait patiently in the womb during the gestation period. So must you wait for the perfect moment when magical intervention arrives to accompany you on your new lease of life. You know what I was saying about going at your own pace? And that's by having the commitment. I can't believe that just said that. That comes from having that commitment to yourself. The danger is trickery. We have the Trojan horse card. Well, both cards fell out with Artemis as well. And this is why I want you to examine your motives, because if you have got this emotional oomph to go and do something, then you need to follow it. However, if you don't have an emotional oomph for going to do something, then don't go and do it. It's as simple as that. Don't worry that if you've got the oomph, don't worry that you haven't got all the answers yet, because they will come with time, practice, experience, what have you. But if it is a matter of, oh, I'll go and do this because this just looks like the right thing to do, yeah, you know, it's like you phone it in. No point whatsoever. We've got the intuition and manifestation card from the Quantum Oracle, which is really telling me that if you are following that intuition, you will get some form of manifestation. Everything that you are committing to will be doubled. But you're not necessarily going to know the way. We've got Raziel, the Angel of Mysteries here from the Angelarium, which clues in the name with that one. You know, it's it does mean that the future is unknown and open, but in a good way. I actually, with the Sun card being on the bottom of the deck, sometimes the Raziel can be a bit sinister, but here it's like, no, it's not sinister. It's beautiful not knowing. That is, and you've been in this, not, aha, so that's what was going on in the past. You've been, where is it? Was it here? Hanging Man, right. Yeah, Hanging Man, Seven of Cups. You've been in this state of not knowing before. And to be quite honest, between me and you, although the project you were working on didn't come around, that state of not knowing is something where you are quite, you've been comfortable in it before. So those are skills that I think you need to be summoning back to the forefront. The final card here, I've talked about the oath, I've talked about the God cards. Communication is key. So again, that whatever you are trying to go ahead with, let people know. They can't help you or even just get out of the way unless you tell them. So, hopes and fears. Oh, gold. Right. No, you're not just going to be the only one doing it. Remember, here we've got you presenting to people who accept you as their equal, and you speak with such authority that they just say, you go and handle that then while we're handling this. They have faith in you. You're not on your own. Hermit card. Can you get over your own anxiety? Well, that's up to you. I'd love to say, oh yeah, you're going to get over your own anxiety, but no, that's up to you. But you are right. You are nearly there, and you can make it. And this is a form of rebirth going on right now for you. So, final outcome cards. Beautiful. We have the Ace of Cups, dreams coming in, love coming in, fulfillment from what you are doing, or more importantly, fulfillment from what you are feeling coming in. Clarified by the World card, things working out, you know, the elements going in your direction. There's a great sense of, with this World card, with the lady in the circle being surrounded by images of the Platonic solids, there's this sense of, again, going up a level, just like that page of coins. It's a sense of like energies being activated. Say if you know exactly if you've done any work with your Merkaba, it's from having the idea of the Merkaba to actually getting the visualization right and getting it spinning. That's I know what the idea is, and then switched on. Oh, I knew what the idea was, but oh, I didn't know what the idea was because now I do. And again, death card, so showing that transformation again. I like that. There's a lot of change coming for you here, Libra. You're in the middle of one change, but do not think, even though you're going to have time, you're going to have plenty of time, and to a certain extent, you're going to have to make time. You're going to have to make time slow down. Do not move too fast. If the world is moving faster than you, let it. It's okay. It'll still be there when you catch up to it. You know, so that's really, really quite beautiful, Libra. It's quite a, no doubt, a challenging and stressy time. You know, because we don't like change, do we? Change bad. But no, change good. So, yep, that's it. That's everything that I can see. I hope this means something to you, Libra. Do not forget, have a look for the Astrology of Dark Side Is, because it was so much fun. And also, if you like this video, please press the like button, because it does help it get seen. Press subscribe while you're here, because that really helps the channel as well. I'm still batting for that magic 1000. And more importantly, if this means anything to you, because I felt like that was quite a complicated story going on, but if it means anything to you, comment down below, even if it's just with the phrase, I understand, because then I know that the reading has found its home, that it's gone to the person that it needed to go to. Otherwise, enjoy, and yeah, see you next readings. Cheers.